Hello, my name is Kingsley Martin. I live in Houston, Texas. My phone number is 713-857-2744. This monologue is from the film Annie Hall. There's an old joke. Two elderly women are at a Catskill mountain resort, and one of them says, "Boy, the food in this place is really terrible." The other one says, "Yeah, I know, in such small portions." Well, that's essentially how I feel about life, full of loneliness and misery and suffering and unhappiness, and it's all over much too quickly. The other important joke for me is one that's usually attributed to Groucho Marx, but I think it appears originally in Freud's wit and its relation to the unconscious. And it goes like this, I'm paraphrasing. I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member. That's the key joke of my adult life in terms of my relationships with women. You know, lately the strangest things have been going through my mind because I turned 40 and I guess I'm going through a life crisis or something, you know. And I'm not worried about aging. I'm not one of those characters, you know, although I am, you know, balding slightly on top. That's about the worst you could say about me. I think I'm going to get better as I get older. You know, I think I'm going to be the balding, virile type as opposed to, say, the distinguishing gray, for instance. Unless I turn out like neither one of those two. Unless I'm one of those guys with, you know, saliva dribbling down my mouth, out of my mouth as I, you know, wander through a cafeteria with a shopping bag, you know, screaming about socialism. Annie and I broke up, and I just can't get my mind around that, you know. I keep sifting through the pieces of the relationship through my mind and examining my life and trying to figure out where the screw came, you know. And 3 years ago we were in love, and it's funny because I'm not a morose type. I'm not a depressive person. Okay, you know how in art you try to make things perfect because you know, life is difficult. Strangely, however, I ran into Annie after that. It was on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. She was living in Soho with some guy, and when I met her, she was, of all things, dragging him to see The Sorrow and the Pity, which I considered a personal triumph. Annie and I got together after that for lunch and just kicked around old times. After that, I got pretty late, so we both had to go, but it was great seeing Annie again. I realized what a terrific person she was and how much fun it was just knowing her. And it reminded me of that old joke. You know, this guy walks into the psychiatrist's office and he says, "Doctor, my brother's crazy. He thinks he's a chicken." And doctor says, "Well, why don't you turn him in?" The guy says, "Well, I would, but I need the eggs." That's pretty much how I feel about relationships now. They're totally, you know, crazy and irrational and absurd, but we keep going back to them because most of us need the eggs.